Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. I'm Asa and today we're going to make tiny wheelbarrows. If you like this type of content, make sure to subscribe because I've got a bunch more videos planned on similar projects. Now let's get to building. For this build, all you really need is access to a 3D printer and some CA glue. I'm going to build my handles out of 1/4-inch wood dowel, but you could also print these parts if you'd like to. If you don't have your own 3D printer, they're really quite accessible these days. You can often use one at your local library, schools, makerspaces, and the cost has dropped dramatically in recent years. You can buy a capable 3D printer for a couple $100s at this point, which is costly, but I happen to get a lot of value out of mine. I made the model of this myself, and I'll put links to the files in the description if you want to make your own. For my build, I printed all of the parts on my Prusa Mk3, and I'll use a drill and some sandpaper to turn down the handholds for the handles. Finally, I'll assemble using CA glue. Like I mentioned, if you have a 3D printer, the files to make your own will be in the video description, or stick around to the end of the video. I'll be giving away kits if you want to build your own and don't have a 3D printer. I think it's about time for a time lapse from the 3D printer, and then I'll start making the handholds. To make the handles out of wood, start with 1/4-inch dowel and cut it into lengths of 9 inches. I don't have my own lathe yet, so I'm going to use my drill to turn these down with some sandpaper. Next part is pretty easy. Just pinch lightly on the dowel with some sandpaper and you can turn it down pretty quickly. I'm using 220 grit sandpaper. I'd say 150 to 220 should be just fine. To finish off the handles, I'll cut off the last 3/4 of an inch to get rid of the marks that the drill chuck left. I'm out of 3/4 dowel, so for the rest of the handles, I'll just print them on my 3D printer. Assembly is really straightforward. Wheel goes onto axle, spacers goes onto axle, and then the axle gets press fit into the pillow blocks. We'll connect the handles by press fitting them into this front bracket. Next, we'll glue the handles onto the main body. You're going to want to leave at least 2 inches of overhang on the front to give enough room for the wheel. The wheel assembly gets glued onto the handles near the front. Second to last step will be gluing the feet onto the handles. The final step is gluing this cross brace onto the legs. And that's it. It takes about 10 minutes max to build and assemble this after printing the parts. Total print time, 2 hours, maybe 3 or 4 if you've got a slower printer, and you got yourself a tiny wheelbarrow. I'll finish up today by assembling the rest of these wheelbarrows so I have a nice range of colors. Oh, Jesus. Well, that's all I've got for today. If you want to make your own wheelbarrow and don't have access to a 3D printer, I'm giving away 5 build kits for free. Just comment in the video description. We can get in contact and I'll ship you your own kit. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel if you want to watch more content on building, making, and crafting. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.